Ready for a one-player game? Raise your hand above your head and we'll get started. 3, 2, 1, go! Dig out the moths from the rocks. Eat the moths before they get away. Okay, now use your claws to dig at the rocks and unearth the moths. Nice work. Look at you go. You can dig out more moths. To get more moths out, you gotta scratch at the rocks. Get those moths. Way to get after those moths. Scratch at the rocks with your paws and unearth the moths. Go for it. Dig out those moths. Time's up. Let's check your score. You got 2 stars. Great. Want to play again or start the next game? Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Casey Anderson, and this is my best friend Brutus. We've been buddies since he was only this big. We spent a lot of time teaching people amazing things about bears. It's fall here in Montana, and in Yellowstone National Park, Brutus's wild cousins are eating like crazy, putting on a ton of weight for the long winter ahead. This is a critical time for bears. Today, we're gonna go into the wild to look at some different things grizzly bears like to eat, and check out how they use their size, senses, and strength to find enough food every day. And Brutus here is gonna show us some of those grizzly traits up close. Then it's your turn. You're gonna be transformed into bears just like Brutus, so you can experience what it's like to be a grizzly at mealtime. And if you want to learn the skills you need to be a naturalist like me, then you need to find the side tracks. In this episode, Brutus and I are gonna teach you to be trackers. Remember, this is TV that you play. Get the pictures, explore the side tracks, and give it your all when it's time to go wild, and you'll earn your Expedition Grizzly badge. Now, we've got a lot to learn about bears, so let's get to the show. Isn't that right, buddy?
It's 5 a.m. It's cold, windy, and miserable out here. I'm high above the tree line just outside of Yellowstone National Park, and I'm here to witness one of the most incredible grizzly bear behaviors and maybe one of the most incredible behaviors in the animal kingdom. This is absolutely incredible. just below me, there's 14 grizzly bears. They have cubs, moms, big boars, all kinds.
A view like this makes it all worthwhile, no matter the cold, the wind, or the altitude. From my very first encounter, I've been fascinated by this amazing animal. The more I learned, the more I wanted to tell their story. And the little-known tale of these Yellowstone grizzlies is truly one for the ages. But my passion goes beyond observing these bears in the wild. You see, my feelings towards grizzlies are a little bit different than most people. Maybe that's because my best friend weighs in at, about 800 pounds. That's him there. He's a brown bear named Brutus, and I've raised him since birth. Let me explain how it all started. I was born in Helena, Montana in 1975, the same year the Yellowstone grizzly bear was added to the endangered species list. Growing up surrounded by the Montana wilderness, it's no surprise I quickly learned about all the local wildlife. By Montana standards, this bear was very tame. Here he is, about 5 months old. Throughout my life, I've been called the animal magnet because animals always seem to find me. But with Brutus, well, it seems like we picked one another, sort of like friends on the playground, and we've been going strong ever since. When Brutus outgrew the house, we built him a sanctuary and started attracting visitors of all ages to teach them about grizzly bear biology and conservation.
Action.
Brutus is a born performer, so we began filming him as part of our educational mission. Here he stars in a picnic parade scene in a public service video.
As you can see, we're on a movie set here demonstrating why it's so important to keep a clean camp in grizzly country.
Brutus has been a huge part of my life. He's sort of like, well, he actually was, my best man. Today, Brutus is a 6-year-old in the prime of his life. And at this point, we've been pals for so long that we've developed a unique relationship. One that means lots of interaction, playing tag, and some playful wrestling. I even get an occasional grizzly kiss. All things that you would never think about doing under ordinary circumstances. In fact, the trust and respect that allows us to be this close is simply one of a kind. In other words, do not try this at home.
What a good boy.
Bears are among the most massive and powerful animals on Earth. And luckily for me, I can show you that strength close up. Now just imagine seeing all of this in the wild. Way to go, you found the first sidetrack. On this adventure, Brutus and I are gonna teach you to be a tracker. And today, Brutus is out here hiding, but he's leaving sign behind. You might wonder why I'm hanging out by this trash. Well, this is a giant billboard of bear sign. But not just any bear, a grizzly bear, and I'll show you why right here. If you draw a straight line from each of the outside toes, that straight line will touch all the other toes. Very specifically a grizzly bear track, but not just any grizzly bear. This is Brutus. I bet he came in here, knocked the can over, smelled the garbage, thought there were some treats in there, pulled all this trash out, smashed it, and headed off somewhere out there. When you live in bear country, you gotta use bear-proof garbage cans. Now it's your turn to help me track Brutus. Do you think he went down there by the river? Or do you think he went over there by the horse corrals? Okay, for the option on the left, raise your left hand. For the option on the right, trash trail
raise your right hand.
Headed down to the river. Brutus is probably thirsty after eating all those goodies he found in the trash can. Let's head down that way and see if we can find more sign. Wow. Judging by all these tracks, a lot of different animals have come down here to get a drink at the river. I see a coyote track right there. I see an elk track, but I see two different sets of bear tracks. One right here and one right here. And if I know Brutus, He walked all the way down here to get a drink at the river. So which set of those bear tracks do you think we should follow to find him?
Raise your hand to pick an option.
Good job, you're definitely becoming a tracker. You can draw a straight line through all those toes, just like on the trash can lid. Now the other bear track follows an arc, and there's no way you can draw a straight line through the toes. Looks like Brutus's tracks are headed off to the forest. Let's go find him.
You've taken your first steps towards becoming an expert tracker. Ready to get back to the show? Now that you've met Brutus, we'll head out to Yellowstone to search for wild grizzlies. And you won't believe where we find them.
It's late summer now, and I'm making my way into this remote alpine world just as the last of the snow melts. I'm hoping to spot an annual migration that plays a critical role in the life and success of the Yellowstone grizzly bear. The army cutworm moth. It arrives daily this time of year by the thousands. Each moth is loaded with valuable protein and fat, so where there are cutworm moths, there are sure to be grizzlies close behind.
Wow, this is so awesome. That mountain is crawling with grizzly bears. I can see a sow with 3 cubs, 2 big boars, and a couple other individuals. Right now I can count 9 total grizzly bears.
I'm right where I want to be at a safe distance, taking in a high-altitude grizzly experience.
Just out here in the talus is a big male grizzly. He's got a bunch of big scars on his neck and his face. More than likely from fighting with other big males in this area over prime food areas. Right now, he's really using that big hump and those big claws and those big forearms and moving some big rocks in the talus fields.
It's estimated that a grizzly could eat up to 40,000 moths in one day.
You did a great job in snapping some shots earlier. Now let's see what you took. Great shots. Here's a fact about these shots. All right, on with the show.
Okay, now that we've seen wild bears dig for moths on the talus slope, it's your turn. Use your grizzly paws like Brutus to scratch at the rocks and find moths, and eat as many as you can, like this. Tastes like peanuts. Stand up and get ready. I hope you're hungry.
Okay, to start, 3, 2, 1, go! Dig out the moths from the rocks. Eat the moths before they get away. You can dig out more moths. Nice work. Look at you go. Dig out those moths. Get those moths. Way to get after those moths. All right, all right.
Okay, now use your claws to dig at the rocks and unearth the moths.
And you're done. Let's see how you did. That was an amazing performance. You want to play again or head back to the show? All right, time to get back to the show.
Cutworm moths are an important food source for these bears at this time of year. Still, at only half a calorie each, a bear has to find a lot of these moths to fill up. We've got so much to learn about these bears, don't we, Brutus? Grab a seat and keep your eyes peeled for more wildlife.
My journey begins just outside the western border of Yellowstone National Park, in an area I return to every year. The long, cold winter takes its toll on every animal in Yellowstone. During 5 months of hibernation, grizzlies will lose up to 30% of their body weight. Other species, like bison, wolves, and moose, are exposed to the winter's harshest elements as they constantly search for food.
In fact, this winter's been very hard. I'm a little bit concerned about how this is going to affect the grizzlies' behavior, and I'm kind of unsure what I'm going to find. This is prime springtime grizzly bear habitat in the Yellowstone ecosystem. Whether it's eating the plants, the grass, or its roots and bulbs, this semi-arid landscape is exactly where the grizzlies come for their first meals of the year. Just spotted a hump of a grizzly bear all covered with snow out here in the sagebrush a couple hundred yards away. I'm going to move in on this bear to a safe distance. I don't want to disturb his natural behavior. Maybe he'll move in closer to me.
Okay, here we go. I found a spot downwind in the trees, and that bear is coming right in towards me.
And just to see his black contrast against the snow is just so cool. You can see his hump. He comes up and he's got snow all over his face.
He doesn't have a clue I'm here, and I'd like to keep it that way. Surprised grizzlies often charge, and he could take me out for good with a single swat of his paw. Luckily for me, this bear has got his eyes on the prize underground, and I'm able to observe him safely from a distance.
A grizzly bear has to eat almost 20,000 calories a day, no matter what the weather's doing. This guy right now, I can see the mud flying. He's digging and this mud's flying up everywhere over the snow. It's really cool. The snow's really coming down now. He's actually bulldozing his nose through the snow to smell the ground a little better.
Oh yeah, he just grabbed something and pulled it out of the ground.
It's a pretty good situation. The wind's blowing in my face. The sagebrush is kind of high, so if I keep low, he can't see me. But he is moving my direction, so I gotta really keep my eye on him. I don't want him to disappear in the sage and then all of a sudden pop up really close.
Keep on moving, buddy. Good, he's gonna walk right on by without even noticing me. That's just the way I like it.
Great job. You found the next sidetrack. Those tracks down by the river have led us to this tree. And I can tell Brutus has been here. But what do you think he was doing? Do you think he was marking his territory? Or do you think he was using this tree to groom himself?
Raise your hand to choose.
Well, that was kind of a trick question. There are a lot of theories about why bears mark trees like this. Many different bears will come to the same tree year after year, rubbing and clawing, just like Brutus did here. Scientists think that bears are trying to communicate with each other. When they leave their scent markings, they're saying, "Hey, I'm in the area." But I've also watched Brutus rub up against trees to give himself a nice scratch and a really good back rub. Classic grooming behaviors. We're definitely hot on his trail, and I can see some evidence of which direction Brutus went. But which way should we go to find him? Do you think he went over there toward those rocks? Or do you think he went this way, towards the meadow?
Raise your hand to make your choice.
Good choice. You can see right here where Brutus dug, just like the bears we watched in Yellowstone. So he's definitely moving in this direction. Let's keep tracking him.
Finding animal sign can be tricky, but you're doing great. Now let's get back to the show and find out what that wild grizzly was digging up.
Well, here's the excavation of that bear I was just watching out here in the sage, and look at this. I mean, this bear did some serious digging. They've used their nose, they've come to this area, they're smelling things under the ground, and it's really obvious what they're smelling. If you look right here, that's a rodent nest.
It looks like that bear pulled up a vole, a little rodent that burrows beneath the soil. It's a small snack for a big animal, but that's a good source of some much needed calories.
They can really get in there and really move some earth. This actually reminds me a lot of what Brutus does back home, tearing up the ground. That's what grizzly bears love.
We can't get too close to grizzlies digging in the wild, so to show you how it's done, I'm gonna give my friend Brutus a similar challenge. He's not a vole eater, but he loves salmon, a staple food source for many wild bears. Let's see what happens when we invite him in for a closer look.
So I've hid some salmon up here in the ground. You can see he's using that nose to try to find it underneath, just like they do in the wild when they're looking for the voles. Now he's found the exact spot I hid the salmon. And what he's doing, he's trying to get that scent all over his body to mask his own. Out in the wild, grizzly bears smell horrible because every dead thing, stinky thing they come along to do this behavior right here. They just roll around in it, cover up their scent. So when they're sneaking up on prey, they smell like a dead thing, not an actual bear, so things don't get afraid of them. Bruce has used his sense of smell, identified a food source underneath the ground. He's using those big claws and this big muscle mass right here that powers those powerful forearms. So Brutus has found the mother lode. He's dug 3 feet in the ground to get it. Now he's using his hole for a bed because it's nice and cool in the sunshine, huh, buddy?
Look closely at the profile of Brutus's face. You can see the grizzly's dish-shaped nose. To properly ID a grizzly like the one I'm tracking, you can't ignore this feature. And this nose is 7 times stronger than a bloodhound's. You did a great job completing Snapshot earlier. Now, let's take a look at your photos. Awesome photos, nice work. Check out this fact. All right, what's up next?
As you can see, a grizzly's nose is truly amazing. But if he gets stung on the nose or the tongue, it really hurts. That's why you see bears in the wild using their big paws to swat away hornets, like this. Ready to give it a go? Now stand up and let's put your paws to good use.
Three, 2, 1, let's go! Swipe at the hornets. Oh, direct hit. Way to get after those hornets. Those hornets don't stand a chance. Not a single hornet has gotten through. Good swipe. Swat those hornets. You've gotten every hornet so far. Keep going. Bam! Nice hit. Ouch. All right, that's it. Check out your score. Wow, 3 stars. Great work.
Do you want to play again? Let's get back to the show. know a single colony of hornets can have hundreds of hornets buzzing around? Good thing you've got massive paws. Now take a seat and let's get back to the show. But be on the lookout for another sidetrack. Summer's arrived, and my year-long odyssey into the lives of Yellowstone grizzlies has brought me to the center of their island population. Yellowstone National Park, the world's first national park. This time of year, the entire ecosystem hums with life. Today I'm gonna soak up the experience of your typical park visitor. And that means driving the park's roads and looking for people, or more specifically, a bear jam. A gridlock of cars and pedestrians vying for a glimpse of a real live grizzly bear. And it doesn't take me long to find one.
What are you looking at out there?
Well, we've actually got a grizzly bear here across the flats in that meadow, out on a bison carcass. This wolf pack took down this bison probably about 48 hours ago, and we've been watching this great interaction. There's two wolves out there competing with this bear, and right now this bear's not letting those wolves get much food.
The wolves that killed that bison last night are coming back to take what's theirs, and that bear's not moving. She's perched up on the carcass, and the wolves are moving in, and she's not budging. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is right from the roadside. I mean, I'm not the only one witnessing this. I mean, everybody here is literally having a National Geographic moment right from the road. I mean, this is really awesome.
I continue on, gaining more elevation on my way up to a high alpine plateau. It's a place I know well, and it should be teeming with all kinds of wildlife this time of year. I can see why they call this North America's Serengeti. There's a big herd of elk, a bunch of bison, and some pronghorn. And it's early summer, everything's green, they're out there and they're feeling good, they're playing. But little do they know, on the very far side of that plateau, there's a big grizz moving down the ridge, and he's moving down very rapidly. And what that's telling me, he's like really on the hunt, he's really walking fast. He's moving right to a herd of a bunch of elk. Now, I don't think a grizzly bear is fast enough to actually outrun and catch an adult elk, but those calves are easy quarry. This radio-collared bear is all business, and the fearful elk herd huddles together. He's going in after them, but it's going to be hard to pull a fast one on this herd. It doesn't hurt to have so many pairs of alert eyes. But this grizzly doesn't give up. And this is unusual. There's an older bull outside the herd, and he's not easily frightened. In fact, he's making a stand. But the bear goes in for the kill. The grizzly reconsiders the icy swim. That's quite possibly the greatest escape I've ever seen. The sheer quickness and power of the grizzly never ceases to amaze me. Let's see if Brutus can give us a demo. It's time for the real test. I need some help setting Brutus's salmon reward underneath this massive boulder, so I decide to see how much it weighs. This big guy weighs almost 1,800 pounds.
Rudy, you can move this big rock? There's something underneath it. Move this big rock.
Huh? See how strong you are. Yeah, good. That was easy. Yeah, there's a big treat underneath there. That boulder almost weighs a ton. Good boy, Brutus. That was a good boy. Unbelievable. And he didn't even break a sweat. Great job. You found it. This is the final sidetrack. Now it's time to find Brutus.
So far, we've had our garbage rated, we've followed grizzly tracks, and we've identified grizzly scrapes and scratches. And that's led us to right here. And look, right over there. I see something moving. It's definitely a bear. I can't tell what kind. What do you think? Is it Brutus? Or is it that black bear whose tracks we saw down by the river?
You need to raise your hand to pick a choice.
You got it. That big shoulder hump tells us that that's a grizzly. Now sometimes black bears and grizzlies have the same color fur, but that bear has a big shoulder hump. It's a grizzly. Let's get a closer look. A good tracker always pays attention to the direction of the wind, because if Brutus catches our scent, he's gonna run away. And the wind's going that way. It looks like we have two options to move in closer to him. Considering the direction of the wind, should we go down by the river or should we go around those boulders?
To choose, raise your hand.
That's right. We want to stay downwind from Brutus so he doesn't smell us coming. That's why it's so hard to find grizzlies out in the wild, because if they smell you, they're out of here. Let's go down this way.
Hey, buddy, we found you. You did an awesome job leaving sign for us so we could track you. Give me a high five.
Yeah, good job.
Out in the wild, animals leave lots of sign that they're around. And finding those signs is tracking. And you're an awesome tracker. I have a feeling you're gonna make an awesome naturalist. And remember, me and Brutus have a special relationship. You would never try this with a wild grizzly. Hey, thanks for helping me find Brutus. Your tracking instincts are really solid. Let's get back to the show. Now that Brutus showed us a grizzly's strength, let's see how his wild cousins in Yellowstone are doing high up on the talus slopes.
This morning is ridiculous. I've got bears down below me feeding, and just out here in the snowfield I have two other bears wrestling and playing.
But with so many aggressive males competing for prime moth real estate, tensions run high. These two big boars chase one another for nearly 20 minutes. They're both aiming to be king of the mountain, and neither one's backing down. And just when I think things are settling down, a grizzly upslope kicks a massive boulder down toward this big male.
He's trying to get away from me, sliding through the snow. That boulder's keeping up with him. It might hit him.
As wild and unfamiliar as it is up here, I can't help but think of my friend Brutus as these grizzlies display their incredible skills. Earlier, you took some photos and snapshot. Let's take a look and see what you got. Fantastic photos! Good job! It's time for a fun fact. All right, let's continue.
All right, you've dug for moths and you swatted hornets. But now it's time to put your bear skills to the test. You've got to eat as many moths as you can, but keep an eye out for those hornets. If you eat enough moths, you can let out a giant grizzly roar. Show 'em, Brutus. Everybody join in when it's time to roar. Are you ready? Stand up and let's do this.
Three, 2, 1, go! Scratch at the rocks. To get more moths out, you gotta scratch at the rocks. Get after the moths and eat them. Swat the hornets. You're a moth-eating machine. Scratch the rocks to get the moths. You're on a roll now. Nice one. Watch out for hornets. You want more moths? Give out a loud roar. just like a real grizzly. Keep at it. We're out of time. Let's see the score. Amazing! You got 3 stars. Do you want to play another round or go back to the show? Ready for more show? Let's go.
It's hard to believe, but grizzlies can eat as many as 40,000 moths in a single day. I say you're well on your way, but let's check with the expert. Brutus? Nice, a standing ovation. Go ahead and take a seat, and let's check out the rest of the show.
Wow, what a lucky break. We're actually seeing the future of Yellowstone's grizzlies right here. A mother with 2 cubs. And I can tell from their size that these tiny cubs are less than a year old, and this is their first alpine trek. I settle in to watch the show.
This is just the way I like to view grizzly bears. I got a big cliff between us. It's completely safe. The wind is in my advantage. They can't smell me. I can completely watch them do their natural behavior. And this is really cool because I'm sitting here watching Mama teach the next generation of cubs how to dig out moths. And these are the bears that are going to be coming back to this mountain.
I'm impressed. These little guys have really got this down. But they still got a few things to learn about keeping their balance and watching out for each other on these loose rocks. This little guy, he's riding the wave. Look out, rock. All this eating can be serious hard work. I think it's time for a break.
After a long, hard day following Mom around on the mountainside and digging, the little cubs have curled up in the sunshine and are taking a nap.
They'll need all the rest they can get. But Mom says it's time to head for the hills. As these cubs cruise on to greener pastures, I'm struck by the fact that the Yellowstone grizzly survival rests on a precarious balance. In this case, climate change could affect the timing and location of the moth's migration, leading to a major disruption in the grizzly's food supply. It's a striking example of how small things add up.
It always amazes me how a big, powerful grizzly like Brutus here can be dependent on something as small as a little tiny moth. But when you've got to eat 20,000 calories every day, you'll take them where you can find them. You were an awesome naturalist today. Let's see how you did.
Unbelievable! You got a perfect score! Way to go! That is the Platinum Expedition Grizzly Badge. Congratulations on your first Platinum Badge. We've had an awesome time today and learned loads of facts about nature. I'll see you on the next episode.